Boys headed down BKRsport, and we are back with the positional tier rankings, baby. We're going through all of them, all positions in the NRL, including coaches and including referees this time round. Yes, we have included them. It's going to be a great preseason. You guys know us. We've got our drafts going along. Actually, the guy we're talking with today, Haynesy, we slapped him in a Roosters chuffed the red, don't you worry. So I wasn't even expecting to say that, man. I gave him a shot as soon as we started up here. So I do apologise. But today we do have the coaches team maker, where we'll be going through all 17 teams, talk about their coaches, ranking them from elite, quality, do the job, not that great, and unproven. And we don't know how long we'll be here, guys. There is no time limit per se. It just comes down to how long we feel like we want to talk about a coach and then move on to the next one, right? So put your feet up, grab a beer, grab a coffee, grab a Coke Zero. We don't know. I got my coffee because we're cracking on down with this, man. So I'm excited. But like I said, we do it with another content creator every single time. And today we are with the Roosters fan, Haynesy. How we doing, man?
Hello, mate. Thanks for having me on. I don't know you slapped me in the draft. I know you won, but
I knew that was going to be his first comment.
I mean, like, I thought, when Trademark beat you, apart from that, I reckon ours was probably the most competitive out of the draft, if I'm totally honest. But
hey, listen, I want to call. I want to put a question mark on the Trademark one. I want to put a question. No, he did beat me, man. But no, overall, man, it was they've all been good. For anyone who doesn't know what I'm talking about, what we're talking about the draft series where we go and actually compete against each other with all-time players in a certain team. We did the Roosters. But yeah, that was a different one. But how are you going, man? Are you going well? Are you ready to not compete against each other today?
Yeah, it's good. It's good to be on the same side because we're never really on the same side at all. Never.
So mate, Brisbane Heat are going all right. Brisbane Heat are going all right, mate. So,
yeah, BBL home final at Metricon. So maybe a collab vlog in the near future.
You know, it is what it is. You know, when we see the Brisbane Heat absolutely slap it down there, there's no question mark about that. But obviously today, like I said, we are doing the coaches tier ranking. So we're going to be going through all the coaches and saying who's the best and who's not that great. As you guys can see, obviously, look, there is going to be a not that great category. There's going to be a coach in at least every single category here. So, you know, if someone does watch it, I doubt the coaches are watching my content. But if they do watch it, use it as motivation, man, because we know you're better than us. But with that being said, well, it's debatable. You know, maybe I could coach the Tigers a little bit better than how they've been going. You know, you never know. We never know, to be completely honest with you. But overall, we understand our position here. We're just here talking about it, had a bit of fun. But Haynesy, let everyone know kind of what you do. I know that if they watch the Roosters draft, they would know, but let everyone know what you do in the community.
Well, simple, same as you, Blaze. I'm a Roosters content creator, game day vlogs and news and opinions about the Roosters. Obviously, right now I'm doing BBL with the Brisbane Heat, but obviously a Roosters fan. And similar to what you do as well, I live in Brisbane, so I travelled from Brisbane to Sydney to watch every Roosters, or not every game, but I haven't missed the home game at Allianz Stadium since it's been rebuilt. So that's something I like to continue in 2024. But yeah, similar stuff, just game day vlogs and news and opinions about the Roosters on TikTok and YouTube as well.
Exactly right. Well, I got my coffee here because obviously on the Gold Coast we love good coffee. Where's your latte? Where's your latte, you sipper? Come on, latte. Sipper, get your coffee out.
There's no soy decaf latte here at the moment.
Show us your pink short shorts. Come on, man. Show us your pink short shorts. And
no. When you invited me to do this, I was actually glad because glad I didn't do referees, because I know, you know, can there be like a category that should be absolutely demolished off the face of the earth? Would be Ashley Klein. So,
mate, I think that there would just be one category, and it would just be nonsense. It'd be just shit house. That would just be the one category.
Actually,
that's it.
Down to the below. Yeah. So, glad we've done coaches. I've done referee.
Well, let's get into it here, man. So obviously, guys, we are doing coaching today. Obviously, hit that thumbs up button, subscribe if you're new around here. At the end of the day, this is our opinion, right? If you have a different opinion to ours, please jump in the comment section. Let us know what your thoughts are. You know, we're going to tell you what we believe, and hopefully you find it interesting enough. But at the end of the day, everyone does have different opinions, right? So just use the comment section for that one, but make sure to hit the thumbs up button. But I think it's time to rock and roll here. So, Haynesy, are you ready to go?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. All right, so first up here, we go to the Knights, the Newcastle Knights, and we have Adam O'Brien, who is a very controversial one in my personal opinion. This is a very, very difficult one to do because I think that it's very difficult to say that he is a good coach based off of one half a year, right? There's only been half a year that Adam O'Brien has actually taken the Knights, and how much was it him? But there's only been one half of 2023 that has shown the Knights to be a quality side, right? But besides that second half, what have the Knights done throughout his tenure there? And before that happened, he was actually being touted to be the next guy to be sacked, right? So what are your thoughts on Adam O'Brien, and where would you kind of look to be putting him here?
Yeah, this is a difficult one. Obviously, everyone was saying if the Knights would have lost to the Bulldogs, he was out the door. That game against the Bulldogs when they won 66-0. So it's a bit hard to say, but in saying that, he's taken the Knights to three of the last 4 years to the finals. So,
with that being said, though, one of those years was when they didn't have a winning record and had like a minus 130 or minus 140 points differential, which is crazy because they also came 7th. They didn't come 8th. That was the Titans who came 8th that year. So the Titans made the finals with less wins, and yet both those teams didn't win 50% of their games.
Don't remind me about 2021. I hate 2021, just in general.
Are you serious? Are we doing this? Is this what we're doing here, Haynesy? This is what we're doing here. I wasn't referring. I can't believe he's done this. Yeah, but when we were talking about the Knights and the Titans and the fact that they just made the finals, and then you have the audacity. You have the audacity to refer to the Patrick Herbert game. I want to end this call right now. I want to. How dare you? How dare you?
Well, if we're ending this call, if we're ending it right now, let's just say this. Could you say that the Roosters were the start of the Titans' downfall because we beat in the 2010 prelim?
Oh, shut up, you clown. You are a clown.
I am.
Oh, my God. This guy. Anyway, so that... I wasn't
Move on.
All right, so after all that nonsensical, ridiculous Titan slander from this Roosters latte sipper over here, we're going to get back into Adam O'Brien here for the Knights. And look, I think that, overall, I would have put him originally in not that great. But I think that based off of the second half of last year, it does bump him up in to do the job. I know that Knights fans are going to want us to put him into quality, but overall, I need to see it happen this year. And although the Knights have been able to relatively compete, I guess, overall, as Haynesy said here, if they hadn't have beaten the Dogs in that game, he was probably going to be gone. So I'm happy to put him in to do the job here. What would you say to that?
Yeah, I agree. Do the job's fine. I think they're in a better position where they were being recently when Wayne Bennett left, the three spoons in a row or something like that. So they're in a good place at the moment, but they need to continue this on. They can't Adam O'Brien can't afford to go backwards this season. They got to play finals footy again this year, just to reinsure that.
I swear with the Knights, man, they always just start off so poorly and then kind of a lot of teams do this though, but I feel like the last couple of years, the Knights have started off in the bottom 2, bottom 3 for the first 5-10 weeks, and then just somehow find a way to make the 8. Am I crazy for thinking that?
Yeah, I think you're right. Well, I know that firsthand because the Roosters are notorious slow starters. So, yeah, look, I think so too. But they just seem to get on a bit of a run, which you want to see that, but you also want to start the season well, so you don't have to afford to make that run. So, but look. At the end of the day, they made 3 of the last 4 finals years. 2020 was the first time they made finals in 7 years. So under Adam O'Brien, so they're in a good place at the moment. But Adam O'Brien needs to keep it going this year. They can't afford to go back into where they were in 2022, or as his job's gone. If I'm totally honest.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, I think that this is a massive year to prove whether he can do it. So chuck me to do the job for now, and we'll see how it goes. Now, we move into the New Zealand Warriors, another one who had a great year last year, but also that was his first year. So that was his first year at the helm. We've seen in recent years with guys like Andrew Webster, for example, let's go and have a look at Toddy Payten, right, the Cowboys. where they were awful. He comes in, kills it for that year, and then the next year they fall off a little bit, right? And we saw them become 15th, then 3rd, and then 10th or 11th this year, the Cowboys. Now with Andrew Webster, he's come in, he took the Warriors from about 15, took them to 4th, the exact same as the Cowboys. Now people are predicting that same kind of thing, right? So what are your thoughts on Andrew Webster and where you would put him? Because Andrew Webster is kind of that guy where, is it unproven, or do you have enough to put him into quality? For me, it's between quality and unproven, but I would lean towards unproven.
Yeah, this is a tough one because he's only coached 1 year, so you're going to need few seasons to sort of get used to it. So, can you go unproven or do you go quality? That's the thing that we're both tossing on here.
I just think that it's only 1 year. If we had 2 years, then he'd done that 2 years, or at least like an 8th and a 4th, then you'd be like, okay, he's quality. But we've only seen him have 1 year. He could completely fall off the wagon this year for all we know. Yeah,
so I reckon, for me, I'd go unproven.
Yeah.
Just because, we don't know what's going to happen. So, it's hard to base of one season. Yeah, I go unproven yet, but there's signs that he's a quality coach with what he's turned around the Warriors from a bottom 14 to a top 4 team. So, but it's going to be very hard to repeat that this year because I feel like the competition is going to get a little bit more tougher this year with recruitment and all that kind of stuff. So, look, for example, you look at the two, like Parramatta made grand final last year. They missed the 8.
Yeah,
from the top 4.
Cowboys.
South Sydney Roosters, they always got strong sides. They missed the top 4.
Mm-hmm.
Cowboys missed the top 4. So there's a lot of factors for the Warriors who were in the top 4 for a reason. Obviously, the Sharks missed the top 4 as well.
Yeah.
So if you look at the squads on paper, realistically, your top 4 every year should be at least Roosters, Storm, Penrith, Broncos, and Souths. But in saying that, we can add the Titans in as well.
He loves the way to sneak the Roosters in there, eh? He loves the way to sneak the Roosters in there. But look, overall, at the end of the day, the Warriors, they relied heavily on Shaun Johnson last year. Will it happen again this year? I don't know. That's what I guess will prove it for Andrew Webster, whether he needs Shaun Johnson to be killing it to be that team or whether he can do it without Shaun Johnson. I think that's what's going to be the case there for Andrew Webster. So this is a huge year in 2024 to prove that he has the caliber. But we will put him into unproven for the time being. Yeah. But if we were forced to chuck him in somewhere, we would have put him into quality based off of the year that he did have in 2023. But we need to see it again. All right, we move now into a fan favourite in Brisbane, Anthony Seibold here for the Manly Sea Eagles. Obviously, that was his first year with Manly, but not his first year as a head coach. So we definitely have to rank him. I will go and say straight away that he's not that great. He absolutely destroyed the Broncos as a franchise, in my personal opinion. Took no responsibility or accountability. Has gone to Manly and just did nothing, really. Like, didn't really get any kind of media attention. No one really kind of cared about Manly overall. Obviously, they had injuries galore, but, he was coming in after Desi Hasler. You need to kind of get to that same wavelength with Desi, and he didn't do that. So, at the end of the day, I'd put him into not that great. Would you disagree?
I agree, actually. Everyone's going to think about, what about these 2 years at South? But in saying that, did he coach 8? No, he didn't coach 19. No, that was Wayne Bennett. So 2018, he got South to a prelim, but
that South team was going to get to a prelim.
That was a stacked team.
Like, look at them with Wayne Bennett, everything.
Team. Yeah. So, and then he came to the Broncos, destroyed the club into the ground, and at Manly, didn't really do nothing. You could give him the benefit of the doubt because he's had 1 year at Manly. You could say unproven, but
it's just because of his track record from previously, though. At Manly, it'd be unproven, but it's like he's done it for many years.
Yeah, I have to agree on that. And any Manly team relies on 2 things: Cherry Evans and Turbo playing well. Otherwise, they're not going to have a good season. So, so I put him not that great.
Absolutely.
To be totally honest.
All right, let's move now into Brad Arthur here for the Parramatta over the Squeals, the Parramatta Eels here. Now, this is a hard one. He's definitely not in elite and has been in quality for a long time now. But I think it's starting like the eggs are starting to hatch now on Brad Arthur. And although Parramatta made the grand final a couple of years ago and they made a prelim and whatnot, at the end of the day, they have still remained unsuccessful. They're much better than when they were early 2010s when they cheated to win 2 wooden spoons in a row. They're much better than for the majority of their history, realistically, besides the 80s. However, I think Brad Arthur, for me, I would start to put him at the top end of do the job because I think that Brad Arthur gets by. I think that the Eels have a team there, but I also don't think they have a team to win the comp. But at the end of the day, Brad Arthur kind of just gets by with this team and it doesn't seem like he's really getting anything out of the team that is necessary. However, he is doing the job with a pretty quality team, which I guess kind of falls back on him. I don't know. I would put him at the top end and do the job comparatively to where he'd be in quality from previous years.
Yeah, I think so too. I put him at the top of do the job. Yeah, this is a funny one because he's a quality coach and the improvement at Parramatta in the last few seasons, it's hard to unnotice. Obviously they made a prelim in 2017. I know they've got the spoon 18, 19.
That was the year they beat the Broncos 58-0 before they lost 36-0 or whatever to the Melbourne Storm the week after. I was at both those games.
Did you? Here we go. Welcome back to Haynesy has to mention the Roosters in every single time he says something.
No.
Eels beat the Broncos 59-0. You were there. And then the following week, you got the Storm Eels game. You were there. And
that's right. And then I supported the Roosters against the Storm. And the that's right.
Yeah. I think that was the first time I was in.
So actually, you're lucky. You're lucky I didn't go the next week because if I had gone to the grand final, I would have supported the Raiders. So you're lucky because I would have supported the Eels beat the Broncos, the Storm beat the Eels, the Roosters beat the Storm, and then I would have gone for Canberra. And that's not even just a joke. I would have because to break the streak. And then Canberra would have beaten them. So you're lucky that I went to Fiji that week instead. I did not go to the grand final. So, but yeah, look, I think that I don't know kind of how we got down this track there, but at the end of the day, I think that Brad Arthur kind of gets by with a team that's very quality, but he has not gotten that next stage out of them. And I think that there are much better coaches out there who can do it. And I know you said that Brad Arthur's a quality coach. I think that he has quality in him, but I think people are starting to look at him now and think maybe he's not as good as we actually originally thought.
Yeah, I think so. But I mean, 2022 grand final, you can't ignore that with Brad Arthur. But in saying that, they were no match to Penrith. You could have played anyone that game. They were going to get absolutely pumped. Penrith were never losing that premiership that year. So but in saying that, they did make a grand final the first time since 2009. So you can't ignore that. But
it's not that he's not that great. He's still at the top end of the job. But I just think quality. There just needs to be a bit more. Oh, but then again, there's going to be a guy in quality. He probably could go.
Is there insurance though? Can Parramatta fans truly say that this coach is going to be the guy that's going to win us a premiership? It's going to break the drought. Is it him? Or is there more? Is there another person that they reckon they believe in? Because I think there's mixed feelings between the two. I think some do, yes, he's our guy. Some do, they don't.
I think I'm very 50-50 on it. And I'd be more 51-49 in favour of him not being the guy to lead them to win a premiership.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'd go as well.
It's so hard. That is such a hard one, man. But guys, comment in the chat, comment in the premiere, whatnot. Let us know your thoughts. Because previous years, I know he's definitely been putting quality with who I've been doing this with. But this year, I just feel like it's time to drop him down, especially with the fact they did finish 10th this year. And, that's coming off a grand final, right? So let's move now into the Bulldogs. And it's going to be Cameron Ciraldo, who it was his first year. So I guess we're going to have to more than likely put him alongside Andrew Webster. But Unproven. But what are your thoughts on Cameron Ciraldo? Do you think he's the guy there based on what you've seen?
Not really, to be honest. they had a stacked team last year and they came in the bottom four. Like,
But I'll ask you this question though: did they have a stacked team? Like, did they have a look at their team? Or do they actually have as stacked a team as you think?
Not stacked, but they still had a decent roster with some big name players. Like, you still had Burton, Kickout, and Reed Marnie. Like, that's still pretty. There's 3 proven guys that have played in first grade before. Like, 2 of them are premiership winners. One played in the grand final. Like, they had a good team. Like, they had Fox out on the wing. Carraz, Avarillo. They still had a great team. And they just, yeah.
I would say in regards to Cameron Ciraldo, I think this year is really big proof for him because he's got even more talent with Stephen Crichton. But I also think that he's playing the players in the wrong position. I personally believe Matt Burton is a centre, but I also think that he's the best 5'8" that the club does have. So I think that they have to put him in the 5'8", but I also don't think he's a 5'8" that's going to win a premiership. They don't know what their halves are doing. Reed Marnie, they need to get much more out of Reed Marnie. He was a shell of the player who was at Parramatta. I think Stephen Crichton comes in. They're going to play him in fullback. When he's not a fullback, he's a centre. They've just got so many players. Their forwards are all over the shop, in my personal opinion. And Viliami Kikau was injured for the most part of last year. And then when he was playing, didn't really do much. I don't know. I'm just not convinced in Cameron Ciraldo, but he does have to go into Unproven for the exact same reasons that Andrew Webster went into Unproven. However, if we were to put him somewhere, I would put Cameron Ciraldo and not that great.
Yeah, I'd say so too. Look, the Dogs this year, like, if you look at their team, like, I reckon you go Blake Taff, you go Carraz, Burton, Crichton, Addo Carr, your halves, you've got Drew Hutchinson and Sexton. That'd be a good team, good backline.
Yeah, the halves are still how you're going though. Like, I love Tobes. Tobes is a good friend of mine, and Drew Hutchinson from obviously the Roosters. But with that being said, like, that's still that halves pairing is still like, what's happening, if you know what I'm saying. But that's a great backline. 1 through 5, that's fantastic.
And Hutcho, I reckon he can do the job in the halves. He's a great running half, and I honestly think that he should be in that team somewhere, but, I honestly think that who else, but anyway, sidetracked. We're talking about the coach.
Yeah, exactly right. We are getting into it a little bit more, but I guess that's something that we'll see from this year. If Ciraldo can get the best of this team, then we'll bump him up. And I guess that's the whole point of being a coach, right? But I don't think that we've seen him prove enough to us yet that he has the ability to get the best out of this team. I think it is a bit of an issue right now. So, unproven. But next year, if he finishes in the bottom 6 again, he'll be not that great. It's just as simple as that. But that's not really rocket science. But all right, let's move now into the Melbourne Storm. It's Craig Bellamy. I don't think we have to talk too much about this one realistically, but I put him straight into elite. Would you disagree with that at all? And what's your thoughts on Craig?
Recently, I put him quality, but all time.
Wow, that is a controversial call.
That team that he had in Melbourne, they really haven't done anything since Cameron Smith retired. Have you ever thought that the last 3 seasons that they've started to go
this
back?
Team. Yeah, but have a look at the team, right? So they still, like, they've had their main fullback go down injured. They've had Munster and Hughes, which is great. They had Harry Grant and Brandon Smith, which was great. You guys, not so much Brandon Smith. But at the end of the day, their centers have been how they're going. Their individual positions like back rower, front rower, and centers and whatnot, even to say as much wingers, have been a shambles. And yet Craig Bellamy still gets his team to a top 4. This team is lacking in so many positions, but he's still... And then they got Josh King in the 13, who is, not much to be desired. Like, he's a fine 13, but he's nothing spectacular. And yet Craig Bellamy still gets into the top 4. They're not winning premierships by any means. But with that being said, he also is the one who's designed this aura around Melbourne. He was a part of them for the last 15, 20 odd years. So although they're not getting the premiership, like, they still won a premiership 4 years ago, like 3-4 years ago. Like, the last team to win a premiership that wasn't the Panthers was still the Melbourne Storm. So I think it would be a bit rough to be putting him into quality.
Yeah, I think so. I put him in elite. But in saying that, though, they were Ashley Klein saved them from being knocked down in straight sets last year. So
If you think for a second that we're putting Trent Robinson above Craig Bellamy when we get to Trent Robbo, you are dreaming, Mr. Haynesy. You are dreaming because I know this is what's going to happen.
We'll get to Robbo. We get to Robbo.
Yeah, we'll get to Robbo. Don't you worry.
I think he's elite.
Yeah,
all time.
Yeah, Craig Bellamy is elite, all-time elite. I agree with you.
I'm talking about recent. They just haven't been the same side since Cameron Smith and Billy Slater and Cooper Cronk left.
I know, but again, I've got to say, the last team to win a premiership before the Panthers was the Storm. Like the last time to do it. It wasn't anybody else.
Over season didn't count.
Okay, well, there's that option too. But Craig Bellamy is an elite for me. I wouldn't say anything else. Like he's proven it many years. And again, like I said, pretty average centers. Wingers weren't that great this year. Front rowers didn't do anything spectacular. Back rowers weren't great. And then the 13 was a bit average with the bench being average. And yet they still were fourth place. They still got into the top. It wasn't even fourth, sorry. They got third. Because it was the Panthers played the Warriors and the Storm played.
Yeah, they came third.
That's right. Yeah, they came third. Because they got whooped by Brisbane. Yeah, they got whooped by them.
And then they played the Roosters with a half-strength side and
beat them. Yeah, that's right. All right, so let's move on now.
Losing 2 minutes ago.
Yeah, a W is a W. But at the end of the day, Craig Bellamy, elite. It just kind of is what it is. All right, we move now into the Sharkies, and this is going to be Craig Fitzgibbon time. And this one is going to be one that is a big question mark on it because he's now been there for 2 years. And I know we're going to refer to the Roosters at some point here because obviously the Roosters are the ones who knocked him out. And the Roosters had no right to win that game in Cronulla. They had absolutely no right to win that game, but they did. The Sharks, this is a fun fact for you. I did a video the other day about this. The Sharks have not won a game in Cronulla in the finals since 2008. Did you know that?
I was watching that video yesterday, the time of recording yesterday, and I was amazed by that. But in saying that, though, they have won finals games, but that was at Allianz, the old Allianz.
Exactly,
Still their home game, so you can count that. But
I wouldn't count that though. Like that's just a game, like a neutral ground. Then for me, for example, if the Titans won at Suncorp in a prelim, that doesn't mean that I say that we won our home game because it's not a home game. It's just a neutral ground venue for bigger attendance. So I don't believe the Sharks have won a home game in the finals since 2008. And specifically, they've had 2 in the last 2 years and got knocked out of them both. Well, the Cowboys won. They played and lost by a field goal to Val Holmes in extra time when they had the game wrapped up with 5 minutes to go. And then the same thing in the Roosters versus Sharkies game where they should have absolutely had that game wrapped up, but again, lost it. So for me, Craig Fitzgibbon, and then we start talking about the top 8, conundrum, how they can't beat top 8 teams. You just really question Craig Fitzgibbon and what he can do. But obviously, he came from the Roosters. So what are your thoughts on Craig Fitzgibbon?
Yeah, look, obviously at the Roosters as an assistant coach, defensively, he was a great coach. He was our defensive coach. He was also the assistant coach of New South Wales under Brad Fittler when we won in 18, 19, and 21. Obviously, went since he left to go to coach Cronulla. We've lost the last 2 series. Just saying. Yeah, look, I honestly think he's a good coach, do the job kind of coach. But in saying that, though, he's not a bad coach because they can't win finals. So that's not on the coach. That's on the playing group. If you have a team, you're up 12, you have a man in the sin bin, you have 3 of your main 5 back line injured, you scored, make it 10-6, and you lose that game. Well, if you look at, I don't know if you can remember that semi-final against us. They had a penalty, a minute left in the sin. They took the 2. That's not the coach's fault. That's the playing group.
Well, what I will say that is that there is a clear comparison right now at the Sharks where they can't get over the line against the good teams, and that then translates into the big games in the finals. Because guess what? You can only play good teams when you get into the finals because that is the top 8 of the 17 in total. So they're only the good teams there. So there has to be a correlation between coach and also what's happening. But obviously, yes, the players do get some blame there, but the coach needs to be able to get them up and put the right kind of selections out there. And I think people are starting to be concerned about Nicho Hynes being the leader there. I don't know if they are believing in this team anywhere near as much as they should be believing them, because they have a good team, but Craig Fitzgibbon isn't filling the team with a lot of confidence right now. So I'd personally put him right now at the top and do the job, because he is still getting his team to the top 8. It's not like they're not making the top 8. They're in the top 8, but there's something that is just left to be desired there. And I think that I would personally prefer him over Brad Arthur right now. But he's not getting to that quality level. But yeah, I'd say right this very second. At least he got into the 8. The Eels.
I have him in between. I have him in between Adam O'Brien and Arthur.
The only thing that I'd bite back on that is that Craig Fitzgibbon has had 2 years with the Sharks. Yeah, but he's had 2 years with the Sharks and made the finals both years. Has lost in the finals, but has made the finals in 2 years. And also one of those was the top 4. And comparatively to Brad Arthur, who's had a long time now with the Eels, he made the grand final in 2022. But with that being said, has also had some big struggle years whilst he's been there. And the most recent year didn't make the 8, came 10th or 11th or whatever it was. So that's my argument. But if you want to put him below Brad Arthur, I'm okay with it. But that would be my argument based on the fact that he's gotten to a top 4 and top 8 in the 2 years.
I'll stick with it in the middle of that, yeah. Yeah.
So where do you want to put him?
I'll put him in between Brad Arthur and Adam O'Brien.
Okay. All right.
Just because of, that Brad Arthur's won a finals game recently the last few years, so you got to count that.
Yeah, But it comes down, guys in the comment section, you let us know. In my personal books, I would have Craig Fitzgibbon there above him, but in Haynesy's books, he'd have Brad Arthur above him. You guys comment below what your thoughts are in regards to that one, but it is a good conversation in regards to those two. Next up here, we go to my man, Desi, baby. He's majestic, this man, Desi Hasler, for the Gold Coast Titans. Obviously, this is his first year, so we can't judge him based off of his Gold Coast Titans, but we can judge him based off what he did at Manly and, what he's done in other clubs, right? And for me, I think he has to go on quality. What would you say about Desi Hasler?
It does, yeah. You're not going to like this. I reckon he's the top of do the job.
I'm going to roast this in a second, but please let us know why you think he's top of do the job.
He's been sacked at every club he's been at.
Okay, so can I reply to that one right now?
He's been sacked by Manly twice, and he's been sacked by the Bulldogs.
Okay, so
he's won premierships.
Let's just clarify this. No, I've got to come in here. So let's clarify this. So he has won, 2 premierships out of 5 grand finals when he was at Manly. The most recent time that he got sacked was because he wasn't told about the inclusivity bloody week, right? That round against the Roosters, which literally cost their season. Because if Manly and the Roosters playing that week was so important, I know you'd remember this, whoever won that game was probably going to make the 8 that year. Do you remember it?
Yeah, well, the winner of that game was in the top 8.
Yeah, the winner of that game was in the top 8 at that time. And when that whole inclusivity thing came out, it shocked the entirety of the club. Desi backed in his players. He defended his players and then got the sack because of that. Now, let's not forget, in 2021, he got Manly to a preliminary final. And let's also not forget that, but in the same sense, okay, let's give that actual to Desi as well, because when Turbo did what he did in 2021, guess what? Guess who was the coach for Ben Barber when the Doggies made the grand final in 2012?
Yeah, true.
So that would come down to that, because that's why people are so excited about the fullback of the Titans, right? Because Desi has a good track record with making that one-in-a-season player from the fullback with Benny Barber in 2012 and Tom Trbojevic in 2021. And also that Dogs fans have a real big knack of complaining about Desi because of the back-ended contracts. But they also forget that he got him to 2 grand finals in 2012 and 2014 and was this close to win the grand final. But the Rabbitohs obviously just ran rampant with Greg Inglis and Adam Reynolds and whatnot. Fantastic team back then. So it's like, I understand that people might complain about Desi based on being like the Eels was he coach of the Eels at any stage? No. Yes, was he? No, I'm thinking of Manly too. I'm thinking of form.
Back to Manly.
Yeah. So after all that, there's no way that he couldn't be in quality. He's got such a great tenure at the clubs he's been around. The only reason he got sacked from Manly is because of the board making a mistake.
Yeah, but in saying that, he got sacked the first time around after winning the premiership in 2011.
Well, no,
Got sacked in 2012.
but why did he get sacked there? But why did he get sacked?
I can't remember how he got sacked, but I know he wasn't coaching. Got sacked. Man, went to the Bulldogs, got him to the grand final.
Actually, hold on a second. Hold on a second. Did he get sacked because he won the premiership with Manly in 2011 and then was the coach of the Bulldogs in 2012 when they made the grand final?
Can't remember.
Either way, that's a pretty good stat sheet. That's a pretty good stat sheet.
In saying that though, but yeah, like he had a track record of having, been sacked by the club, and with the Titans at the moment, there is promise at the Titans with Desert coach, and you know better than anyone. But he has that track record of bringing success, short term but long term, not suitable for the job in the board's eyes. Like we've seen that with Manly, we've seen it with the Bulldogs.
But again, he was only sacked from Manly because of the inclusivity thing. He wasn't sacked on performance at Manly. Because you can't. How can he be sacked at performance on Manly if he got them to a preliminary final and then was in the hunt for the 8? The only reason he got sacked from performance was the inclusivity round. And then 2011, if he was sacked, he was coming off a grand final win, so it couldn't have been on performance. The Dogs one I can understand because that would have been like 2018-ish, so they would have started to have those back-ended contracts. I can understand that. But with that being said, in that stint that he was at the Dogs, he still got them to 2 grand finals, which was the last time they were in grand finals because guess what? They're now in struggle street. I don't think that Desi Hasler could be anywhere but quality. I just don't. I couldn't see it. And also I would say this whether he's at the Titans or not. Like this is not. I said this last year. Like regardless, like with Desi Hasler, I think that that's him as a coach. I'm not just, this isn't my Titans bias. I just think that based off of that track record, there's no way he couldn't be in quality because he's done so much more than what Brad Arthur, Craig Fitzgibbon, and Adam O'Brien have done.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'll just put him at quality then. Like, I get your points too. So again, he's got a good track record with.
Yeah, again, I'm not being biased here. This is just, I'm just going via his track record.
Yeah, I was more scared of the fact that, he has a knack of getting sacked from his clubs. So, but yeah, okay.
We'll chuck him there. I think that I agree with you in regards to the Dogs, but I think that people also still forget how successful he was at that first period at the Doggies there. Definitely won't accept the most recent Manly one for sacking because we all know what happened there. But at the end of the day, I know where you're coming from. You know where I'm coming from. We'll chuck him there. People in the comment section, roast whoever you want, man. Like, let us know who your thoughts are. But
it'll be me. It'll be me. I'm always get roasted.
Well, I guess I gave you Craig Fitzgibbon in between Brad Arthur and Adam O'Brien. So we'll go Desi into quality. We'll give me that one there.
Yep. Fair enough. Fair.
But all right, let's move now into Ivan Cleary for the Penrith Panthers. I think this one, right this very second, he's off the back of 3 straight premiership wins in a row. I think that he's going to have to go into elite, but I think that he more than likely will still, based off of the history of what Craig Bellamy has produced, I would still put Ivan Cleary below him, but I think that Cleary's on his way to going above him.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, I have him elite just behind Craig Bellamy. Obviously, the last 3 years, what can we say about Penrith, that we haven't said? They're just the elite squad. Ivan Cleary has had a massive help on that. He got also, people forget that he got the Warriors to the 2011 grand final. Was he coached then, 2011?
Yes, because I think it was Chris Anderson in 2001. And then whenever the Warriors was in 2002. Daniel Anderson, yeah. And then it was Ivan Cleary in 2011, yeah.
Yeah. Obviously, 2008, that miracle win against the Storm, week 1 of the finals. If no one really remembers, back then it was a different complete final system. It was 1v8, so on 4. Warriors came 8th that season. Storm first. Warriors beat him week 1 of the finals. Got him to a prelim.
To be fair as well, was Ivan Cleary at the Tigers like 2016 to 2018 kind of deal?
No. He was there for half a season. Then he signed back with the Panthers.
Yeah, but wasn't he there for I was only there for half a season.
It was like a year or so because it was Jason Taylor between 16 and 18. Pretty sure.
Oh, there you go. All right. Well, yeah, because I was going to say, because the Tigers were not awful at that point, and then obviously 2018 was when Luke Brooks won that Dally M halfback of the year. But 2016, they nearly made the 8 if it wasn't for the Titans just getting there in the last. Actually, no, they got pumped by Raiders in the last couple of seasons. Which got the Titans into the comp.
There's been a few times. There's been 2 and 19 as well. They had to win that game to make finals.
There for that game. Yeah, that was the Paul Gallen field goal. Paul Gallen kicked
we wanted a draw. I didn't want the Broncos in. We wanted a draw. Sharks Tigers draw. Why couldn't they go for a 0-0 draw? Seriously.
That would have been brilliant. But watching Paul Gallen kick a field goal at Leichhardt was pretty funny. I won't lie to you there. But we'll put Ivan Cleary into elite below Craig Bellamy. He's been absolutely fantastic and he is on the trajectory to become the best coach of all time. He is currently on a trajectory for it. Because he's still super young. That's the thing that's scary. He's so young still. Oh, yeah. All right, we move into it.
Aren't finished either.
Go on, say what you're saying.
Penrith aren't finished either.
Yeah, 100%. You know, they've still got plenty of good things coming forward. So it's very nerve-wracking there. But all right, let's move on now to Jason Demetriou here for the Rabbitohs. Obviously, you're a Roosters fan, but dude, let us know your unbiased viewpoint of Jason Demetriou.
Unbiased, I reckon, do the job. If I'm totally honest. I think he's above Adam O'Brien, just short of Craig Fitzgibbon, if I'm totally honest.
I would make a solid argument that we're not going to put him in there, but right this very second, I am leaning that in the near future, he will be in the top and not that great. I am leaning towards it because when they made the finals, not the year before, that was still with Wayne Bennett's team, right? Was he the coach? Or was last year his first year as coach? No, he's had 2 years now.
No, 2022 was his first year.
Yes, 2022. So then they made the finals with Wayne Bennett's team. And then in 2023, they completely and utterly choked the finals. But they were in first position for 11 weeks, but then completely fell apart. I'm happy to obviously keep him into the job. I am happy to keep him there. But there is major concerns around him right now. If they don't make the finals again, you've got to have really big question marks. Like if he doesn't make the finals again, there's really solid question marks.
The difference between Craig Fitzgibbon's situation that they, can't win finals games and Jason Demetriou completely lost the playing group in the back end of the season. Completely lost it. Completely lost it. The board weren't happy. Obviously, Sam Burgess and John Morris left a week out from the biggest clash of their season. Latrell and Cody Walker, there's been talk about him, how they're like different standards, whatever. I think he lost the playing group. And obviously, South Sydney have re-signed him for the next 3 seasons. But in saying that, if this happens again, if they miss finals this year, I reckon he's gone.
I agree. Yeah, I think he's gone too.
As a club as they are, they've won 20 premierships in their first 50 seasons, and they've done nothing since 153 years. Like, they haven't been the same since 2014.
I know. I would agree. But I will say this, though. They did obviously make prelim, grand final kind of deal under Wayne Bennett. But did obviously, throw it away at the big time. But yeah, I said this the other day when I was ranking organisations. The Rabbitohs have been let a lie. The Rabbitohs fans have been let a lie by their marketing department that they've won one premiership in 60 years and then obviously won about 150 premierships in the previous 50 odd years or so. Yeah, absolutely. They've only, won one premiership in a long time. So their fans have this sense like that they're the best ever. But unfortunately, they've been led this marketing lie and it's been a really big struggle. So it's hard for their fans to understand that they're currently still kind of in a dry patch, realistically, and they're not as crazily successful. Well, definitely not in their lifetime anyway. But at the end of the day, I think Jason Demetriou, for me, I would personally right this second put him below Adam O'Brien. And that's big for me to say because I've not been a big fan of Adam O'Brien for a long time. But Jason Demetriou, this is the year. If he does not prove himself in the opening rounds, I think that he is going to be one of the first in the chopping block because the Rabbitohs fans will get vile. They will start to come for him. And although they may love him now, if they start off and struggle in the first 10 rounds, they will come for him. Do you disagree?
Agreed. Yeah. Agreed. I know a lot of South fans, they were coming after Latrell after what happened a lot back into the season. Like he wasn't like this at the Roosters, all that kind of stuff, whatever. But saying it to Demetriou, I honestly think that it can turn ugly. It turned ugly last season
Yeah.
because you have never seen an organisation like that fall off the face of the earth like that. The thing with the Broncos one is completely different though, because it was more that they had injuries and all that kind of stuff.
Well,
Trying to remember how.
let's get into the Broncos now because we do have Kevin Walters coming up. So we'll put Jason Demetriou at the bottom and do the job, but we'll move into the Broncos now with Kevin Walters because he has turned around a lot of people. But with that being said, obviously we all know about the beautiful and spectacular choke of 2022. Where they were, top four for the entire season, and the last 4 weeks or so ended up coming ninth. And the Raiders getting in over the top of them. That's just a team that always, for some reason, makes the 8 when they probably don't deserve to, the Raiders, for the most part. But Kevin Walters, obviously, for the most part that year, they were very good. And then in 2023, they made the grand final and then miraculously, spontaneously choked the grand final, which was beautiful. It was aesthetically pleasing for me. But at the end of the day, I do think that if you combine those 2 seasons, you probably are leaning towards putting him into the bottom of quality.
Yeah, I think so. Like, I generally think that he's changed the club culturally since Seibold destroyed it.
Yeah.
You got to think he's had to rebuild the club from its knees. Like,
you're not wrong.
And he's done a fantastic. I don't think he's done a fantastic job. 3 years from wooden spoon to 10 minutes away from winning the premiership.
Yeah. No, 3 minutes away. 3 minutes away from winning the premiership. They were
3 minutes as well.
When Nathan Cleary scored that try. So, look, I think that Kevin Walters is also a coach, though, that if the Broncos were to somehow miss the 8 this year, he would drop off quite dramatically, and then you'd be talking about whether he's not that great or do the job in comparison. But I do think that right this very second, I think there is a gap a pretty significant gap between Desi and Kevin Walters as we currently speak. However, I do think that, if Kevin Walters improves on this trajectory, he definitely is going forward in the right way.
And I think he's building a nice roster at the Broncos as well. He's recruiting well. Obviously, Reece Walsh, what a bargain that was.
Has lost a few players, though, which is a concern. Has lost Farnworth, has lost Keena Palacia as well.
Yeah. Question mark on the Broncos this year is that how they're going to recover with no Herbie Farnworth, Flagler.
And that's perfect for Kevin Walters. If you can, and this is the same thing we said before with Andrew Webster and Sean Johnson, Kevin Walters, Reynolds getting older now as well, and they've lost a few players here. Can Kevy get them up again? And after such a massive heartbreak, can he get them up again to do it again? I don't know. So it's going to be a big question mark here for Kevy. But for the time being, I'm happy to put him at the bottom of quality. Is that where you're happy to put him?
Yeah, I agree. I have him quality for now.
Next up here, we had a few Fiji internet problems. We all know them. When I'm in Fiji, there's always internet issues here. Don't you worry. But we move into the final 4 here. I hope we got to wrap up whoever we did last. But we do get to Shane Flanagan. Now, there is an asterisk on Shane Flanagan's name. Obviously, when he was at the Sharkies, he won the premiership with them. However, we all know that the reason why he hasn't been coaching since the Sharks is because he got banned. Because of the peptide fiasco that did go on under his watch there. So, yeah, look, it's a hard one to rank here, Flano, because obviously he is back now and coaching the Dragons in a really interesting role because the Dragons are in a very precarious position. But, Haynesy, what would you say about Shane Flanagan coming into 2024?
Well, as a coach, he's quality. But at the same time, you can say he's unproven because he hasn't coached in a long time. But his track record as a coach, not as what happened with the Sharks, that as a coach, he led the Sharks to their first ever premiership. It's quality stuff. But you can say at the Dragons, unproven, but overall,
I think the interesting thing, what you said there, was that he could actually be arguably thrown into unproven, which is kind of unprecedented because he's been there, he's coached for years. But with that being said, the coaching kind of tenure that he did have does have question marks surrounding it due to, I guess, what happened, off the field with the situation there, right? So there is the point to be made that a question mark. I would actually, you know what? I would make the argument Oh, but that would be so weird to put him alongside Ciraldo and Webster, who do deserve to be unproven based on 1 year. But like Flano's would be unproven based on a whole different criteria. Like where would you? So where are you thinking to put Flano? Are you thinking of putting him somewhere else?
Putting him at the bottom of quality.
At the bottom of quality is a big call. It's a
I
big
think
call.
so. I tend to think he's a good coach.
I don't think that I would have it in me to be able to put him above Brad Arthur and Fitzgibbon at the moment, though. I don't know because again, he's been so long out of the game, and the one time in the game when he was the coach there, he does have a cloud surrounding him around the drug scenario. He's been out of the game for like what 6 years now.
Was that all Shane Flanagan's fault because he didn't say to do it? It was a club doctor.
Well, we'll never know, right? We'll never know. But at the end of the day, like that happened in 2014, did it not? So 2016 comes around, although they're not necessarily on the juice then. Do you think that potentially those players have benefited from that? And the reason why he's been able to win that premiership is based on that. That's why I said that's a question. I'm not saying that's the reason at all. I'm not saying that the Sharks only won because of that, but I'm saying the question is there, right? And the question is always going to be there. And it just so happened to coincide with the fact that it was their 50th year without a premiership and whatnot, right? So I don't know. I'm happy to put him kind of wherever. I just don't know if I can. I don't know if you can put him alongside Kevin Walters and Desi Hasler there. I don't know. It's a hard one because there is so many question marks around it.
Based off coaching ability, he's been proven to win a premiership with the Sharks. That's why I've got him quality.
To be fair, the four guys that are in do the job have not won a premiership. But then again, Kevin Walters has not won a premiership. However, he has got him to the grand final. Okay, look. I would say there will be criticism for this. I'm happy to put. Yeah, go on.
It's your video. It's obviously on display what yours is going to be, so you have the final say. But that's just my personal opinion, anyway.
I'll put him into quality because you want him there. People have been able to hear both of what we've been saying. At the end of the day, I'm happy to to and fro. So yeah, we'll put him into the bottom of quality. We'll see what you guys have to say in the comment section. All right, next up here is Toddy Payten for the Cowboys. Now, he's had a really rocky tenure, man. Like, he came in, took a team that was he the coach when they were 15?
No. What year? 2021?
Yeah, was he coach or no? He wasn't coach.
He was.
He might have come in like halfway through or something like that. I can't remember.
I think he was replacement of Paul Green.
Yeah, because he came from the Warriors, and then he had a poor year. They came 15th, and then they turned it around and came third, and then this last year they came 11th. And they've been just up and down, up and down, up and down. I don't know where to put him. I will be honest with you. I don't know because it's confusing.
I'm putting him do the bottom, just above Demetriou, do the job.
I would agree with that one. Why would you say that?
Just that he's, come to think of it, he's really haven't done much. Actually, I'm going to put him in the top of not that great.
Oh, I don't know about that one. I don't know about. He did still get them to.
Where do you put him then? Where do you put him?
I'd put him above Adam O'Brien, below Craig Fitzgibbon, and the reason I say this is because with the fact that Adam O'Brien is at least able to get it's such a hard one. I wouldn't put him in not that great because he did still get them to a preliminary final in 2022, but 2023 was average. 2021 was very, very bad. I think this year is a big proving point for Todd Payten to see if he has another bad year, then he's not that great. I will 100% say that. If he has another bad year, not that great. If he has a good year, he probably bumps up to the top and do the job. I wouldn't put him in quality yet, though, that's for sure. I wouldn't put him in quality, but I think that he's probably just above Adam O'Brien because at least he did get to that prelim in a less amount of time, but also has had those two struggle years on either side of it. I think with Craig Fitzgibbon, both years that he's been in tenure, he's gotten into the top 8, one of them being in the top 4, hasn't won a finals game yet, but at least hasn't missed the 8 in his tenure, whilst Todd Payten has made the 8 once out of his 3 times. Would you agree?
Yeah.
Hard one, though. It is a hard one.
it's you could say it's unproven as well.
No, he's been there for long enough. He's been there for 3 years. And
Unproven.
didn't do anything at the Warriors either, mind you.
No, 2020, 2020, go halfway through the 2021 season, and obviously they had a bad year that year. Like 2022, remarkable run. They made a prelim. They controversially could have been in the grand final, but then this year they were completely terrible. And under his coaching reign, they suffered the biggest defeat since 2005 or something like that, when they lost 66-18.
Yeah.
So, I mean, obviously they come back and won 74-0, which was actually funny. But in saying that, it's up and down.
Yeah, I think in the middle is exactly where he is, and in the middle is exactly where I think he should be, because there is right now he can go one or two ways. I would say he's right in the middle of going one or two ways. Would you agree to that?
I agree with that. I think for now we put him at near the halfway mark to do the job, but if he has a bad season, he starts falling down a little bit.
I think if he has a bad season, he can go into not that great. If he has a good season, I think he can go to the top and do the job, but I wouldn't put him into quality just yet. That's why I feel like Shane Flanagan's probably a little bit too high, but I'm okay with it for now. But we'll put Todd Payten into the middle there. We've got two more to go here. Trent Robinson, don't even try to tell me he's number one, but you can tell us, you can give us your spiel all you like about Trent Robinson.
I put him number 3.
Oh, wow. Realistic Haynesy? No way. I don't believe it.
Obviously, we've got one more left. Obviously, he's going straight to the top, Wayne Bennett. We all know that. I'm putting him in between Craig Bellamy and Ivan Cleary. Tremendous. I honestly think that Robbo's been the best coach in the NRL in the last 10 years. Truly speaking. But in saying
the hardest thing to say here, and I'm like, I wouldn't disagree with you, but I just think that right now, it is so hard to say that it's so hard to go past a guy who's made 4 grand finals in a row and won 3 of them and was only 6 points off winning 4 in a row. It's so hard to go past Cleary right now, going above Robbo right this very second. But I also know that the Roosters have been so good. I'm trying to get rid of the recency bias, because that could also be recency bias. But with that being said, you look in the last 10 years, and Cleary's got those 3. You guys won 2018 and 2019 and 2013. Yeah, so you've both got 3, but Cleary's won 3 in a row, and the ones currently. That's where I'm at mentally.
Makes sense. But in saying that, though, Robbo has won, trying to remember, 13, 14, 15.
I think based off of longevity, I'm happy to give it to Robbo.
So in the 10 years he's been at the Roosters, 4 minor premierships, 3 premierships. He took a team that were decimated by injury in 2021 to 4 against off the top 4. We were only 4 against off the top 4 against Manly in 2021.
The only thing that I agree, but the only thing that will go against that is that, okay, whilst that's great with that 10 years, in that 4-year span that Cleary has been the coach of the Panthers, or 5-year span, only 1 year has he not made the 8, and the other 4 years he's been in the grand final with 3 of them winning it.
Yeah, in that defense, though, this squad wasn't just plucked out of nowhere. This club has been coming through the ranks since under 20s, reserve grade, first grade. Ivan Cleary got the finished product. He didn't start it. He got the finished product.
He was originally their coach from the mid-2010s, early 2010s.
Yeah, I think so.
So he would have actually been a part of the Gus Gould kind of planning development-wise.
Yeah, maybe, but I think
this is going to be an interesting year. 2024, if Cleary finishes if Cleary wins it again, if Cleary wins the premiership this year, I'm sorry, but I have to say it's a fact that he's above Robbo if he wins it this year.
Yeah, I agree. If he wins it this year, but generally speaking, that Robbo, what he's done for the club the last 10 years has been, I think been amazing.
I understand where you're coming from, and I'm okay to have Robbo above him in this thing. I would say for the people watching and listening that I would probably lean towards Cleary right this very second, but I also don't think there's much of a gap. If I could put them on top of each other, I would. And whoever has the better season this year is where I would lean with. And I think the Panthers, unfortunately, will have a better season than you. But with that being said, I think that dependent on kind of how it goes, right this very second, I'd put them right on top of each other. Would you disagree? Like literally on top of each other.
Yeah. It's 50-50 between the two. But, you know, in saying that as well, like, trying to lean the defense of Robbo here, like.
Well, you're always going to back your guy in. Like, I understand this. That's why I agree with you. Like, you're always going to back your guy.
We've always had reinsurance with Robbo. I remember in 2016 that we missed the finals. We came second last that season. No one was saying sack Robbo because of a bad year. We were so reinsurance with this guy because what he's done. We had a bad season. We've had injuries. We had the Mitchell Pearce scandal. We've had so many things that went, so many curveballs against us in 2016. Then 2017 rolled around, put it to bed. We made week 3 of the finals. And then after that, back-to-back premierships, you know.
And I think we leave it at that, and people can have their
people don't forget that the Roosters were the first team to win back-to-back premierships in the NRL era.
I understand that, but you also know what I'm going to say is that the Panthers have gone and won three in a row. But anyway, long story short, like both these teams are great, both these coaches are great. Comments, guys, let us know in the comment section. You tell us what your thoughts are, and it'll be interesting because these guys right now are on top of each other. You can make an argument for both of them, to be completely honest with you.
Yeah,
but we are
biased, but obviously myself and Roosters fans will have that argument for
that's
Robbo.
why I'm saying here, as a non-biased spectator, right this very second, I am leaning with Cleary. But I can understand your argument. I can understand the argument for Robbo as well. I can understand it for both of them. So it'll be interesting to see what people say in the comment section.
You look at last season that we were 14th with 5 weeks to go. And that was been the perfect time that we go, nah, stuff it. Shit year. Let's just focus on next year. No, they had the belief in the playing group. He had belief in the playing group. They had belief in the coach. And we were able to...
Again, I understand. Again, we're going to move on from this now. But again, I understand what you're saying. But also, as a non-biased spectator, I can definitely see both sides of it, right? So we'll move on from this now. Both of them are great coaches. I personally lean with Cleary, but I also can understand absolutely the argument for Robinson as well. Guys, jump in the comment section. It'll be interesting to see your thoughts. But we've got the final guy here now, which is Wayne Bennett for the Dolphins. And I heard you say just then that he's clearly on top. I would like to understand why he would be clearly on top, because I actually personally, right this very second, would have Wayne Bennett in second behind Craig Bellamy.
Really?
I think so.
Really?
I think that, you know, obviously the Rabbitohs...
He won 7 premierships as a coach.
Yeah, but that was over 20 years ago.
The last one was with the Dragons in 2010.
Okay, 14 years ago. The last one with Craig Bellamy was 4 years ago, and then he also won one in 2017. He also won one in 2012.
That's 3.
And also won one in 2000. No, did not. I
don't count.
No, they don't. But with that being said, I'm saying that Wayne Bennett did win that one in 2010 and 2006. But with that being said, we're going back a long time. I think that Wayne Bennett is still the second best coach in the league. And you can make the argument for first, but I also know that he did lose a grand final in 2021. He did lose a grand final in 2015. And I'm at a point where I'm just thinking Craig Bellamy is still getting it out of his team. Now, I know Wayne Bennett's gone to the Dolphins and whatnot, but Craig Bellamy, for me, has been more recently successful and also was successful in the past, removing the 2007 and 2009. You've got was it 1999 when they won the premiership, if I'm not mistaken? The Storm as well?
1999 and then lost 06, won 7.
Yeah.
08, lost 40-0. 09,
that
won.
Was bad.
Yeah. Cheated. They cheated. And then 2012, then 17-20.
I just think if you're talking about like an all-time historical who's the better coach, you probably are looking at Wayne Bennett. But I think if you're looking going into the 2024 season, you're probably going to be saying that. But then again, if you're looking going into the 2024 season, Shane Flanagan wouldn't be in the quality section for me. But
ranking of coaching ability, everyone talks so much about Wayne Bennett. You know, obviously people, you knew better than anyone as a Queensland fan. You can't ignore what he did in 2020 with the Maroons.
Yes, that is pretty spectacular. That is pretty spectacular.
Yeah.
Look, I'll put him. I'm happy to put him second. You guys jump in the comment section. My personal individual ranking, I probably have Bellamy just above Wayne. But with that being said, he did get a bit out of the Dolphins before they collapsed last year. I'm happy to put him at the top of the elite. I don't think that, to wrap everything up here, I don't think there's too much question marks about the people who are in elite. I think that there's probably going to be quite a bit of chatter about the two quality and do the job sections between Flano. I think that people will say probably Brad Arthur goes up. I think people will probably say Fitzgibbon probably goes up, which I disagree with. And Cowboys fans will circle joke Toddy Payten. No one's going to complain about Anthony Seibold being not that great. But overall, I do think it's a pretty good list for the most part, man. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree. Obviously, we missed out on Benji, but he'll be unproven.
Oh, wait, yeah. Where's Benji? Benji's not on this list. Hold on a second. Yeah, Benji would go into unproven.
The stars, I must have didn't put him in there because hasn't coached yet. But yeah, 3, Benji.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Hold on. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. There's another one that's not here. There's another one. So there's Benji, and there's also somebody else.
Oh, we're missing one.
Oh, Ricky Stuart.
Oh, Ricky. Sticky Ricky.
Ricky not here. Hold on. I'm gonna
come on, man.
I'm gonna add him in, Ray. What you mean, come, man? I'm the one who just noticed the Sticky Ricky one. But then again, you noticed the Benji Marshall one. Hold on. Let's see if this works in. There we go. There's Benji now. And then it's not on your screen, but it's on mine. And then Sticky Ricky for the Raiders. There you go. Sorry, guys. Well, at least we got there before the video ended. All right. So Benji, let's go into Benji. He'd have to go into unproven, correct?
Unproven. That's the easiest one on the list.
I'd put him above Ciraldo, below Webster in regards to unproven, though.
Really?
Well, we're ranking based on unproven is basically ranking on what we believe this coach will be like, right? And I think that Cameron Ciraldo, I've got enough to say that it's not looking great for him. With Andrew Webster, it's looking great for him. But with Benji, it's not really looking anything right now. We haven't seen anything yet. So that's why we put him in between.
There's, but yeah, in saying that, there's some potential at the Tigers the next couple of seasons. With obviously the board gone, there's a new beginning at the Tigers. Obviously, they've just signed Luai. They've got a good team starting to roll together.
Correct, but we haven't seen that yet. And Andrew Webster, we have seen a top 4 appearance from so far.
Exactly right. So I have him in between.
Yeah,
there's promise at the West Tigers, and I like that. Obviously, I've got same thing with you. You've got a little bit of bias towards the Sharks. I'm the same. My father's a West Tigers fan, long time Magpies.
I like the Tigers.
I have
no problem with the Tigers.
I have a soft spot for West Tigers. I want them to do well. So that's why I'm like I like the direction where it's going at the moment.
It's anything is a good direction with the Tigers, mate. Anything direction is a good direction.
You can only go up. In saying that, they did finish lower than they did last year.
They did. But with that being said, that was with still the CEO and the organisation and whatnot, and now they're moving on. So
there's more potential in West Tigers in the next few seasons. Anyway.
Absolutely. So yeah, chuck him into the middle there. Happy with that one. The last one here is Sticky Ricky. Ricky Stuart, who probably would have been yeah, he would have been towards back end anyway. Like this is a hard one here with Ricky. Because he does get enough out of the team to get him into the top 8 every single year. But and 2019 did happen, but also, like, he's also been pretty unsuccessful throughout his tenure as a coach. Like, he did win a premiership or whatnot, 20-odd years ago? But besides that...
He won as his first year as a coach in 02.
In 02, but hasn't done anything since. It was awful at the Sharkies. Was it the Eels as well?
Yeah, so he got 3. So he did 3 years at the Roosters, got us to 3 grand finals, left in 05, I think.
Yeah, and then went to the Sharks, didn't he?
Went to Para, and then he's come to
Canberra.
The Raiders. You could say he's done a decent job at the Raiders.
Oh, well, it's at minimum it's to do the job. In previous years, we've had him and Brad Arthur the exact same in quality. But it's like if you're putting Shane Flanagan, but if you're putting Shane Flanagan in quality, realistically, Brad Arthur and Ricky Stuart should both be in quality if Shane Flanagan's there. it really, I don't know. It's such Shane Flanagan's just really looking as the odd one out for me right now in quality. But like, where would you look to be putting Ricky Stuart?
I think top of do the job, just ahead of Brad Arthur.
So yeah, that's exactly. They would always every year they're always right next to each other. They're always right next to each other. So I'm okay with that. It's just that I personally believe Shane Flanagan should be below those two guys.
Do you put your Raiders cap on for a second? Do Raiders fans believe that Ricky Stuart is the guy?
I saw a comment the other day. Of Raiders fans saying, "How many losses will it take for us to get rid of Ricky?" But with that being said, Ricky is a club legend, so it's very difficult. I think that at least Ricky is consistently getting his team into the top 8. But with that being said, this year they could drop off quite dramatically. If he gets into the top 8 this year with the team they have, then he should be definitely quality. You can make the argument for quality. I think that, yeah, I'm okay with him right next to Brad Arthur. The only thing that I personally have with this list is that I don't think Shane Flanagan should be over Ricky Stuart and Brad Arthur.
Well, it's your list, man, so you can decide.
No, it's our list. It's our list. That's why I'm okay with it being there. That's why I'm okay with it being there. Okay. It's just that for the viewers, that would be my only question mark personally. But there we go. We're done with there, man. So what? Yeah. So what do you think with the list?
I like it. I really like it.
It gives me confidence as a Titans fan. That's for sure. It gives me confidence as a Titans fan.
Having as a quality coach.
Desi Hasler is a quality coach, mate. Should be elite. Should be number one. But if this was
are you going to be saying that in 3 years when he gets sacked again from another club?
No, because we would have won 3 premierships by then. So I would have loved that man. We would have, and the only reason he would have got sacked is because he didn't come down and join me on the drums in the front line. That's the only reason he would have got sacked.
Sick of the damn Titans guy.
Mate, you give me a couple of weeks with Desi, and he's going to be on the drums with me come round 10 of this year. Don't you worry, mate. Okay. But there we go. So we'll wrap today's video up, guys. Obviously, you know our thoughts. If you're just tuning into this video now to come and see it back end, do go back and have a listen. There is the timestamp, so you guys can go and check them out. But obviously, guys, hit that thumbs up button, subscribe if you're new around here. Haynesy, let everyone know where they can find you.
Just simple Haynesy_YT on YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram as well. It'd be really appreciated.
There we go. But all right, we're going to jump off for now, and we will see you guys next time. We're doing all of these rankings now with different creators and whatnot, so it should be great. Plus, we've got a few more drafts to go as well. But all right, guys, we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Catch you later. See you.